Hey, what's up, everybody? I haven't posted a video in a while. Seems that every time I go for a run, I get a new sense of inspiration, and so it's been a little while since I've been for a run. But I've had a pretty rough time here in Bali, getting dengue fever and typhoid simultaneously. Had a bacterial infection in my gut. I spent the first month and a half here sick, and then every time I tried to do something, it was um, I'd get sick again. It just felt like the message kept coming to surrender and surrender everything, surrender my identity, surrender my work. I haven't worked very much in the last 4 months. Maybe done 5 or 6 massages. And anybody who knows me knows I used to do probably 6 to 10 in a day, and so 6 over 4 months is it's a challenge. And I tried to see the gift in everything. I tried to stay upbeat with it all, and so there's been times I've really not been able to. It's been hard to generate my positivity and my positive energy. I spent most of the day in bed today and trying to rest, letting my head just run, letting my mind run, and I realized how dangerous that can be. And it's not dangerous because my head goes to dark places. I can usually get out of those pretty well, but it's dangerous because so much energy just gets spent in the mind. So much energy gets spent in the back and forth of this or that. The what about this, or the if only that's. And I've been stuck there myself for a while, since coming to Bali. Most people have told me this is a very healing place, and it's really knocked me on my butt. Asked me to surrender quite a bit. And being true to the journey of the seeker, I try to surrender as much as I can, and really surrender into what the universe has for me to receive. Because usually when we're at our lowest, when we're at the very edge of what we think we can surrender into, we usually get such a gift, and we realize that whole process of surrender was necessary for us to become deeper, brighter, have more breadth and more compassion. And so I'm in the middle of the journey right now, and I really wanted to take a moment and just honestly say where I've been and where I'm coming from. I had a moment with Bali when I just had enough. I had enough. I'd surrendered everything I can, and I said it's enough. It's almost too much. I started yelling and swearing and telling her that I will stick around for 2 more weeks, and she has 2 weeks to give me whatever is here for me, and then I'm going to bounce out. And immediately, I felt my heart again. I felt so much better, and I felt connected. And I realized I had this image of Bali as a woman, as a mother. And I realized I came here with the intention of taking all these pictures and getting all this audio and putting together some really healing content to do guided meditations, to be able to give to you guys, to have for myself, and to stay on record as some form of YouTube legacy, I guess. And I realized I wasn't coming here to receive her gifts. I was coming here to take her gifts and give them away and pass them on without receiving. And when I saw Bali as a woman and I saw that, I realized no wonder I got sick. I was thinking so much about the gifts that I should be giving out, and the gifts that are in this world for everybody, and rather than receiving them and sharing what I've received, I wanted to just take them and pass them on. And I realized that if you do that to a woman, it's pimping. It's taking a gift that may be meant for you and bastardizing the gift and passing it on to someone else. Even with good intentions, it's not right to take from one thing and give to another without actually receiving. And so I formed a sort of contract with Bali, where I set my intentions. I want to share my meditations with you, and I want to share the healing magic that's here in Bali with you. And I want to first receive what that is for myself. I don't feel very connected to Bali. I had a very strong connection to the Amazon. I had a very strong connection to Thailand, a very strong connection to Egypt, a very strong connection to Berlin. Bali is one of the first places that I just kind of feel, nah. I don't feel that strong. I don't feel my shaman very active here, which is interesting to me. It's saddening, because for the bulk of the last 3-4 years, I felt my shaman strongly, and here I am to receive the gifts of Bali, not feeling as connected, not feeling as light, not feeling as whole. And still, I'm committed to receiving what's here and to sharing what I receive. There are so many updates I can give. Since that time, I've received a lot. I came to Bali wanting an online offering to be able to have available for when I'm not available, which these days seems to be more and more. I'm not any one place for long, and I am feeling the impact of missing my community and missing the people I serve and the people that I take care of and the people that take care of me. And so I wanted to have this online offering to be able to share my gifts, my wisdom, my passion, my meditations with you, with anybody who finds this channel and resonates with its messages. And one day, when I was in the midst of 3 months of bleh, I took a day to get away, and I went to the beach. I went to this place called the Astana in Uluwatu, Bali. And I was supposed to be there for a day, and I stayed for 3. I got in a cold plunge, I got in a hot tub, I got in a steam cave. I felt so good, and I felt like I found a great flow, and I was meeting people, and I wasn't as unwound as I was feeling in Ubud. And I wound up in a hot tub with a guy, a cold plunge with a guy, and there was this unspoken little, not a rivalry, but we were pushing each other to stay in the cold plunge a little longer. He wasn't going to get out until I did, and I wasn't going to get out until he did. And I was in there for probably about 15 minutes. It was pretty cold. It was between 4 and 5 degrees Celsius. And I finally got out, and he got out shortly after. We started talking, and he found out I was a body worker. We talked a lot about that, and then he told me about this group that he works with that puts together programs and teachings for online offerings, and wanted a massage course. I'd asked if I would be willing to collaborate on that with him. And instantly it just felt like everything I've been asking for that I haven't been able to work for was just handed to me. And I realized that even when I'm feeling not whole, when I'm feeling low, and purposeless and all the things, um, I'm still being supported. Um, and so that's underway. There's another couple things underway. I am receiving meditations, and I am, with the permission of Bali, receiving the beautiful sounds and the beautiful sights that are here, and I am putting those together as a meditation offering where I will help from beginner to advanced to woohoo and crazy, different meditation techniques that will help connect you to your innate wisdom, to your innate capacity to be able to calm the mind and come back into the spirit. These are meditations that have not been completed right now because I am in the process of my own coming back into spirit, um, into coming back into alignment with my spirit and my physical body. There's there's two sides of this, being a spirit embodied and being a body holding a spirit, and learning how to combine them is transformative. And I've been through this transformation several times, and I keep going through it, getting more insights and more wisdom, more confidence, more clarity, and more passion to be of service and be a sharing vessel for that process of transformation. And so that is another thing that's on the list to be underway. My time in Bali is coming to a close, it feels. I'm not ready for it right now. I hope it gets to be extended for a bit longer. But as it stands right now, 3 weeks until I'm supposed to go. And I'm sad because I feel like there's still so much here for me to receive. And if the time does come that I do need to go, then I will absolutely be excited for the next chapter and what unfolds there. All the things that have been enlivened here are enlivened and will enable me to move forward in whatever way feels in highest alignment. And so that's the update. I also want to share a thought that I had when I was running. I had a few, and the one was forgiveness. I was feeling all this tension in my body, especially around my heart and around, my solar plexus, like right under my heart, right above my belly. I was feeling all this tension, and as I was running, I was trying to breathe into it, and I was not succeeding. It's been a while since I've run, and I haven't been making the healthiest choices here. And so I was feeling that in my body, and kept trying to breathe into it. And I got my 2 miles, 2.15 miles, which was better than the time a couple weeks ago when I got 2.1 in the same time. But 2.15 miles in today, and I was feeling all this tension. And I get back and I started stretching and doing my breathing techniques and breathing into the tension and the pain, which is a beautiful technique. But what I was realizing as I was doing that is all of this tension that I was feeling, I'd breathe into it and I'd hold my breath and I'd bring my attention and my energy into that space, and then I would start getting really lightheaded as I held my breath. And then I'd release and start breathing, and then from deep within this purge, kind of it was a belch, but it was definitely purgative. I came forward and I realized that there's all this density and tension in my body, and it comes down to judgment. As all of our tensions and our densities come down to judgment and emotion. And when we get an emotion, it's really easy to turn it around and get mad or sad or angry or judgmental or joyful or whatever the emotion is at someone. Um, that whoever's facing us or whoever's in our mind representing that, um, or whoever is activating it. And at the end of the day, our emotions are ours. And I know that this isn't new news. This is just my interpretation of old news. But the emotion, we can get mad and we either yell at the person or we hold it in. And either one of those things could be good, could be not. If we express it at the person, we have to stay with it until we realize that that emotion is being elicited because of something that was done, and it's our responsibility. How we feel is our responsibility. And then we can release the emotion once we realize that it's our responsibility. And we could be mad. It's okay to be mad. Things are frustrating, and the world sucks sometimes. And there's a lot of density, and there's a lot of thoughtlessness out there, and a lot of anger comes from that place of, I deserve better. I deserve better treatment. And we do. We all do. And at a very human level, we aren't. We are also very thoughtless. When we are fulfilling ourselves, we are not necessarily thinking about how we're impacting the world around us and the emotions that we are stirring up. And so when someone cuts you off in traffic, you could have your fit about that jerk who cut you off in traffic and yell and scream. It's really fun to do in the car. It's safe. You're yelling and screaming at the person, but that you could realize that there are times when you are cutting people off in traffic and you're not paying attention to it. And I'm sure there's times you were paying attention and you thought you could make it and you did make it, and you don't know the impact of it. And so what you're feeling is the impact of what you have done in the past, and you're just seeing it reflected back to you. It's not to say that you won't get cut off in the future. There's plenty of opportunity to practice that process of transmutation, which really is what it is. But it's easy. It's easy to look at something and realize that there are times I am doing this to somebody else, and if I can forgive that person, not because Jesus loves you and go with God and you got to live with yourself and all of that. That's masked judgment. It's, I see myself in you. I've done that too. And I'm not just that. I'm not just a guy who cuts people off in traffic. I'm also a guy who lets people over. I'm also a guy who will put his car into a wall to avoid wrecking with someone else. And I'm also a guy who rear ends and doesn't pay attention to what I'm doing. And so it's really important to let your forgiveness come from that space. That space of, I have done this too. And if you don't think you have, you have. You're just not aware of the impact, which is okay. It's okay. But you'll keep seeing it until you can do that. And even when you see it, you'll keep seeing it. But then it's just a reminder how human you are and how human they are and how we're all in this together. This is a very simple explanation of my process of forgiveness. And there's a lot of far-reaching implications, and we can what about all we want. And it actually extends into the what about. That's probably a video for another time. So I would like to leave this with you and remind you to be gentle. Be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with others. What we're doing is not easy. We're carrying two sides of a whole within us, experiencing one side of the whole at a time, and interacting with the other side of the whole that is within us that we are not experiencing. Um, and as we are gentle with ourselves, we can allow that to be playful and humorous and be kinder as we take care of ourselves and we in turn around and help take care of each other. I think that's all for now, and I will do another video as soon as inspiration strikes.